Good evening. Welcome to this regularly scheduled meeting of the Jefferson County Board of Education on Monday, October 23rd. And the Pledge of Allegiance, I understand, Ms. Marcus, you have a student here to lead us in that?
I do indeed. Nathan Walker. This is Nathan Walker. He has just come fresh from Saturday. He was one of our athletes of honor, recognized by the Rotary in Martinsburg. He was recognized because he is an outstanding athlete as well as an outstanding caregiver. As many of you may know, the Rotary motto is service above self, and Nathan definitely exemplifies that because he is an Eagle Scout. At our school, he does carry a 3.5 average. He is the captain of our cross-country team, and he recently finished 12th in the regional. He is also a very outstanding student. He has been the athlete of the week. Nathan Walker. Nathan.
All right. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Walker. Done and gone. All right. Mr. Solstice, I understand we have a business partner signing this evening.
We do have a business partner. It's always tough to follow an Eagle Scout and some of our youth we have, but we're going to try. We are always excited when we have businesses that want to step up and partner with our schools, and we do have a wonderful business tonight. We have with us Mr. Adam Shively from Four State Real Estate, who's going to be partnering up with Shepherdstown Middle School, represented by Miss Rebecca Horn, principal there. Adam's been involved with schools for many years. He was involved with the elementary school. Now he's going to start working more with the middle school. He's on their LSIC, or chair of their LSIC, and I'll let him tell you more about that. So, Adam and Miss Horn.
We're just very excited to make our business partnership official. He's been with us now for 2 years and has been a wonderful attribute to our school. He's very enthusiastic and a wonderful voice of the Cardinals at games. And Mr. Shively, you want to share what some of the plans are?
Sure. I mean, I've been at the LSIC at the elementary school for 4 years, and been working with that group. It's been a tremendous group to work with, and we're trying to bring that up to the middle school a little bit and kind of bring the two schools together a little more. So I took the chair position at the middle school in the hopes of bringing that cohesion in the Shepherdstown community a little bit. We do a lot with the schools, though. Everything from donating tennis balls to the bottoms of the chairs to the to the warm-up jerseys for basketball, the football pizza parties. I mean, my company does just about anything that we're asked to do, and they're not shy. We just got an order for a Food Lion order the other day for a science lab, and we brought up those 4 bags. So we're happy to be a part of the community, and the teachers have just been tremendous to my family and to the kids, and it's a great community to be in. So it's my pleasure to work with the middle school as a business partner, just like we have the elementary school for years. So.
Great. If you could sign on the line there, we appreciate it. Make it official.
Do you even write your whole name?
No, man. Sign a lot of stuff. Dr. Shively.
Okay. Anything you'd like to say? Are we finished up then?
Thank you very much. I know you're very involved in the community, and we appreciate you being involved in the schools. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
We'd like to say something also as bus drivers. He is one of our sponsors on the back of our T-shirts.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have fun with it.
All right. Mr. Blanc, I understand we have some recognitions.
We do have some recognitions here this evening, yes, first of all, we have from Jefferson High School. That's good timing, look at that, great timing, right on cue.
Wow, great time. Well, folks, it is my honor and privilege to introduce Mr. Matthew Holmes, a student at Jefferson, and Mrs. Elliott and I couldn't be prouder of this young man. I would say the biggest thing that we're proud of is he is so laser focused on a goal of being the best. So he's been an all-state musician. He's been in the all-state orchestra, first chair, all-state band on tuba. But his main goal was to be the best bass player that he can be, so he can teach at the college level. And his focus is allowing him to reach that goal. He's one of the best bass players, not just in the state of West Virginia, but in the country now. And it's my pleasure to present this certificate to Matthew, signifying being accepted into the National Association for Music's All-National Honor Jazz Ensemble. He is the only upright bass player in the country selected.
Yeah. Musical chairs.
That's right. Great job,
I'll have
Matthew.
you scoot down just right in between Mr. Osborne
Easier
and
said
Miss
than done.
Ogden. Perfect.
Get you a little bit more space there.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We're gonna do one more. 1, 2, 3. Great.
Taught him everything he
Oh, no. Thanks, folks.
Great job.
Congratulations.
For our next recognition, if anyone was throughout Jefferson County this weekend going out by Weiss or any of the stores, you've seen a lot of our transportation people out and doing some great things that gonna let them, who's here to introduce what we're gonna do? Yes, Ms. White, go right ahead.
I'm gonna bring my group. We travel in a pack in transportation. If you take a look at these ladies and gentlemen before you, they are quite the leaders of transportation. They have put together a phenomenal charity contribution to a little place in Texas called Aransas. They first came to me and wanted to do something, Karen Nelson did, for the people who'd been hit by hurricanes. And we tossed around ideas, she did, to fill a bus, etc. And I said, well, let's call the West Virginia State Department there in Texas and see what they need. And sure enough, Karen turned up Aransas, a little place that was hit really hard. And they still are in portables. They aren't quite back at school. So they have raised.
As of right now, we're still doing donations and all that, but as of right now, our department has raised $12,100.
And when I say work hard, I mean work hard. They have gone above and beyond. They are the leaders in our department, and I'm extremely proud of their efforts and their generosity. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
We do have a couple certificates, but one for Kirsten and Karen. I think they're the unofficial leaders. I also know that Dawn is, and the rest of them have worked equally as hard. So
Oh, yeah, everybody has.
Yeah.
Everybody has. Thank you all for it.
Yeah.
It was nice to see you guys.
And we would like to
out
thank-
there
oh.
collecting money on Saturday. It felt really good.
It did.
As we drove up on it, I said, oh, look, it's a food drive. I thought it was the fire EMS or something. I'm like, oh, look, those are the bus drivers. It was so exciting.
Yeah,
It was
we had 6
nice.
locations through the county.
Yeah.
We raised $6,200 in 2 days.
Wow.
So,
That's great. And I loved the plug for bus drivers.
right?
Fantastic.
Our little thank you
Great.
cards.
It was wonderful. You guys did a great job. It was great.
It was great.
We're recruiters. They've become recruiters, and they're excellent at that also. It's working.
Do you guys want to line up behind the board? Take a picture?
Karen, you go ahead. I'll slide all the way.
Better half of you go around this way and half go
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Sammy was very disappointed.
We literally worked her to the bone.
Sounds that way.
Great job.
Come on, Pam. So you want to slide down maybe just a little bit? No, canter. I'll get over there. Do you want me to switch? Okay, we're good. We're good. See? Come on in.
My head's in the TV.
Looks pretty good. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Do one more.
Tiffany.
1, 2, 3.
Perfect.
Do you want my next one? They do. This one's for Spirit.
We'll get that in a second here. Ms. Osborne, oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Astorino from Driftwood Elementary School.
Good evening. So I would like to introduce Jennifer Poteet from Driftwood Elementary School as our counselor. Mrs. Poteet is an outstanding school employee who works tirelessly to benefit all Driftwood Elementary School students and staff. Mrs. Poteet spends her professional day and many of her own personal hours to build programs that benefit the students and staff through innovative thinking and planning. Many of the student-centered programs encourage change in our school climate for students utilizing the Mind Up and Path social skills curriculum. Our students analyze how their brain works, how it affects what they do, feel, how they interact with others. Students are often overheard talking about what their amygdala is doing, which is your emotions, emotional behavior, and motivation. Mrs. Poteet is our school's biggest fan, and she demonstrates the passion and that dedication that she demonstrates each day for our students and staff. So thank you, Mrs. Poteet, for everything you do for our Driftwood Elementary students and staff.
We're just getting our steps in.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. More.
I'm going to ask Ms. White to come back up and join us again.
This time I'm very proud to introduce Tiffany Lugo. Tiffany has been with the Transportation Department for 7 years. I want you with me because I'm going to brag about you. Tiffany's been with the Transportation Department for 7 years. She is a parent in the school system as well, and she has been nominated by 2 people from Shepherdstown for this award. She's very deserving. Tiffany is a hard worker. She's extremely pleasant. Along with the back row, I could just clone many, many, many Tiffanys. Tiffany has a great spirit of volunteering. She volunteers in Shepherdstown Elementary as well as Shepherdstown Middle, and she's very giving of her time. We are delighted to have Tiffany with us, and she is an asset to our department. Tiffany, it's with great pride I present you the Spirit of Jefferson. Thank you. Yes, yes. Okay. Tiffany wants me with Tiffany.
Just hold it a second.
I'm sorry.
You want to stand by mom?
That's okay.
And she wants to stand by mom. I love it.
Very cute. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Gonna do another one. Great.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get some track to put in here, so.
I still think they're trying to electrocute me. All right.
There's not enough juice in there.
All right. Mr. Blanc, do you have anything for superintendent's
I think
comments?
we'll just save those to the next meeting.
All right. And then, do we have a motion for the approval of the minutes for the board meeting held October 9th?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. No citizens' comments this evening? All right. The consent agenda. Are there any changes or anything to that?
We'd like to do an introduction somewhere along the line here.
Hmm?
Like to do an introduction somewhere along the line with it. Whenever.
TBA.
Oh, yes.
Sure. Miss Warren here, you might as well stand up, Miss Warren. Mr. Sophia. Shepherdstown has gone for a while without a assistant principal. I think they were waiting just for the right person to come along, and Mr. Mark Sophia, looking over his resume and all, I just can't help but to see what a well-rounded person he is. Comes from Spring Mills High School, was department chair in social studies, and their data teams discussions and all, so he has the business sense and the data. Then also I saw lots of times where he led, just like our transportation folks, flood relief and hurricane relief, or flood relief in West Virginia, headed a drive to support those people, and lots of other good humanistic types of activities you've taken charge of. So I think we're real fortunate to have you. And with Ms. Warren, say a little bit more there about you.
I'm very pleased to welcome to our staff our new cardinal, Mr. Salvia. Not only does he come with all the experience of a practicing administrator, he also comes with excellent communication skills. He may be very quiet now, but he is wonderful with both his peers, his staff, and his students. I'm excited to see how he can welcome Shepherdstown into his family and us into his. Welcome, Mr. Salvia. Brought his whole family to share.
Welcome to Jefferson County.
Thank you all very much.
Have a good evening.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
All right. So with that addition, do we have a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. All right. Unfinished business, there is none. New business, the McCormick grant.
We met on October the 11th to vet the second round of grant applications that were not spent in full from earlier in the year. We have two new people on the committee. The committee is made up of Mr. Cable, Sherry Fitzgerald, the principal, myself, Phil Sudam, and then Amy Vickers and Marcia Stengel are two of our new ones, replacing Peachy Deal, who retired, and Marcia Stengel is the faculty senate president now. And Debbie McCauley from Finance, and our Secretary Treasurer, Lisa Snyder. We had $96,645.35. $64,627.24 was what was remaining from earlier in the year, the 17-18 year, and $32,018.11 from the 16-17 grants that was either not spent or not spent in full. We had $81,785.95 requested, and it's broken down on your paper. The first one is Devin Pearl. She does the Renaissance program, and she wants a Cricut Explorer Air 2 machine. She does a lot of bulletin boards and recognizes students' birthdays, and they're up in a showcase, and she has service learners who helps her, so this is just a machine to help print out some of those things, I suppose, and that was for $1,000. Megan Garland, in English, supplemental English reading books. That's the only one we're not recommending, not because we're against reading, but Mrs. Stengel, who's also the English department chair, said that the books needed to be on an approved reading list. So since we didn't know if they were, we're returning that for her to Ms. Garland to figure that out and maybe resubmit in the spring. And then I wrote one for various models to demonstrate human reproduction, labor and delivery, and assorted instructional videos for FACS classes, $4,800. Mr. Lynch had two, one for $16,011.77, an upright piano, two bass clarinets, two French horns, and a bass guitar amp, and then another one for $6,970 for steel drum instruments to complete his ensemble for percussion. And then Mr. Fib-Migliati, theater, he has put in some for overhead lights, 10 LED front spotlights, a dance floor for the stage, projection screen for the auditorium, and projector lens, which was from a projector we purchased or we recommended last year, and evidently the lens didn't come with it. So, and then all of the prices are over $17,500, $20,000, $3,650, $4,400, and $650. And then Mrs. Hauer and the Foreign Language Department requested Acer TravelMate spin devices with headphones and mic plugs to augment what the county has bought for them for $5,346. So the total requested is $81,785, and then less the one we're not recommending. The only other business, well, the grant total then would be $80,327.77, and that'll leave $16,317.48 to carry over to the 18-19 school year unless there's a petition beforehand to the committee. And in addition, Devin Pearl had made a grant request and was awarded a grant last year for students to attend the Renaissance training, and she had broken it down that only $400 would be for transportation, but then some transportation costs have shifted, so she's not asking for more money. She just wants to let everybody know that it will probably be more than $400 out of that $1,400 that will be spent on transportation, because there is no registration fee for the Renaissance rodeo or whatever it is that they go to in Westminster in December. That's it.
Hello. This must be the McCormick grant.
It is.
Apologize for running late. Thank you for running the meeting. Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so that takes us to, so, Mr. Blanc, so who's doing the designated funds?
That was going to be a table for our next meeting that we don't have Ms. Marone with us this evening.
I'll make a motion that we table item B under new business.
Second.
All in favor of tabling item B, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. C, special education pre-K. Ms. Fitzwater, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Okay, first recommendation, I guess I'm looking for approval. A recommendation of approval for a personal care aide for a student in pre-K at North Jefferson Elementary School. This is a student that we did, a special needs student, come in, and we did actually have the student start at like 2 hours. So we were able to support the student with staff that was already at the school. This time, the staff that we've given to support this child has been successful, so we're now looking to expand his day and actually go all day for the pre-K, which is 9 to 2. In doing that, we need to add staff, and we would like to only add it until April. After meeting with the team and working with the team on the behavioral support, we're feeling that in April, we should be able to remove this aid altogether.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you. The
And
next
D.
one evening is a recommendation for a personal caring for Blue Ridge Primary Pre-K. This is a second-year pre-K student. It's 3.5 years old. And the increasing behavioral support. Again, we have laid out a plan. We've met as a team, which we have been trying to implement on a consistent basis as well, to really sit down, including our new behavioral specialist, sitting down and working out that plan that, from start to finish. And so coming to you again to say we would like this support again for just till the end of this year. We're feeling that this child will, and with other knowledge that we have, that I have shared with you, knowing that we feel at this point by the end of the year we should be able to pull back. And again, if that ever changes, this gives us the benefit to come back and give you an update and know that we're not going to just continue this, because that's not the best thing for any of our students either.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Any questions?
I just have a question unrelated to the student or whatever. What is the age as far as our preschool program, since they have changed the age of kindergarten? Will that change our preschool parameters? Or if we have a child with special needs, once they go through birth to 3?
We get them
What
at 2
happens?
years, 2 years and 10 months, they come on our radar.
Okay.
And we get a list actually that I keep track of. Actually, I know who's coming, I believe, up until January, February. Mrs. Dingus is great about keeping that updated for us, and we meet on a regular basis. So I do know about, I believe it's 40 we know of meetings that are coming up between now and February to have whether or not to find them eligible. To go back to your original question for the change for the 5th grade, for kindergarten, for the move back of the age, that increases our pre-K to another year. In saying that, our students that would have moved up to kindergarten will now need to be placed in a pre-K as well as the incoming pre-K.
The start date for the children of 3 is a federal guideline there. That's
Yes,
not-
so I know I heard the kindergarten part. Yes, so as of 3 years old. So at 2 years, 10 months for that process, they are identified. We hold an initial meeting. It's 3 meetings actually where we hold it, we evaluate, we come back to an eligibility, and then that IEP has to be in place by the age of 3. Like I have a student coming up that I believe
When
it's
does
November
this has already started, or when does it start?
for.
I mean, we're doing for 3-year-olds now?
That's been a long time.
That's been a long,
time.
Oh, okay.
that's all been all along.
Wow.
That's for special needs
Yes.
only.
That
Right,
is-
right.
Yes.
I
That
mean,
has
do
been
you-
always.
Based on developmental pieces, do you think at some point it would be beneficial to do a 3 and 4 and a 5 and 6? I mean, is there any possibility that the needs would be so great that we would somehow try to, I mean, obviously in a perfect world, we have lots of space and teachers and lots of things we could do that with, but I'm thinking a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, it's very different as far as what the expectations and the needs would be, especially in a special needs child. 3 and 4, I need you to learn to do more than a one-step direction. Obviously, by the time you're 5 and 6, I need you to be able to have beginning phonetic reading skills to be successful in your kindergarten year. at least starting to pick that up. So I don't know how you meet, it's hard enough to meet that if you're in a daycare or a preschool situation that's of a general population, but how in the world are we even getting close to meeting those in a special ed population that would have even more needs? I mean, I'm not saying we can do this, I'm saying if it was in your thought process, what you see, do you think it would be more beneficial to somehow divide the students by age and have smaller pieces with that age increasing?
We are actually looking at this point, and I know Mr. Blanc and Dr. Gibson, as doing their walkthroughs, are also purposely looking at the pre-K classes, and know that our pre-K are universal. So therefore, they are a balance, okay? And by law, they are 50-50 or 49-51% balance,
Right.
to make sure our students have the peers and everything to do that. Yes, we are definitely aware of what is coming down the pike. We are definitely having those conversations and looking at our logistics, knowing that what we thought would be moving up to kindergarten is now going to be a new pre-K or an additional pre-K, or our student, we will have a year of a shift that we are definitely having the conversations as a team of what is going to be the best model. And exactly what you have said, we've had those conversations, knowing that we need to look at this because some of our kids that we're going to be with kindergarten teachers are really, we're going to need them to be with our what we are going to now consider pre-K because of the age change. So we are definitely going to be coming back to you as the board we can discuss and give you maybe an update on that. I'm assuming by January is really, for me, would be my goal, and it is our goal as a team to say that we know by January we need to have a bigger picture in mind in order to implement it by August. We have to have that set. I don't know if I'm quite sure if I answered that question or not for you.
It just changed this year.
It will change this come in July,
Yeah.
and then 2 years to kindergarten will change then.
Okay.
So that,
Okay, so they gave us a little bit of time.
We will.
Wow. Okay.
so that's why we're all prepared for it.
It's a team effort.
I mean, I like the idea of what they do. All three of my kids, even my 25-year-old, was in a universal real pre-K, which wasn't called that at the time, but there was a school, and it was a preschool, and I specifically chose, there's a waiting list to get into the school because of the exposure that you get to being able to have children from all different, places in their life, whether it's special education, general education, whatever you want to call it, but it was an amazing program, and that's what it was, even 25 years ago. I guess it'd be 22 years ago. So I think that a lot can be done with it. It's just, of course, it's always about follow the money. And I'm sure, as is the usual case, we get all kinds of things we have to do and no money to follow it. But hopefully there's some good ideas that can come from that. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion on the table. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, Ms. Fitzwater. Excuse me.
Can I ask you one question? When you come to us with these requests for additional people, and it's like, apparently you need them like right now, not 2 months down the road or 3 months, but what my question is, when you come to us like this, do you already have somebody in mind that there are people out there that are available that will do this, or do we have to wait until we come up with somebody?
Okay. My process for doing this before I ever come to you is to gather the data that you get. So in that, what I'm allotted by our laws and our guidelines is that I can put an additional aid in there to take data. So I guess I'm tired, so I'm going to use an example if that's okay. So you're in a class, okay, and you're misbehaving, and, there's your teacher, Skinner. She's like, tried everything. I've done all this, I've done all that, and she's given it to us. I come back, and she goes, I need this, and that's great. We sit down and have a conversation and go, I need data. We need to see what you've done and how you've done it. Okay, well, I need some help. So I will ask for an additional aid, and I have a fund that I use for an additional aid. I can only use that aid for 30 days by our regulations. Once we get to that point, I have to, by law, come and ask for a position. So normally what I do is I have them take data for about 4 weeks. What we do is we see a before with no additional support, and we see an after, did it make a difference, and what plan did we come up with? What strategies did we use to, look, he's being successful. You now can join groups. You now are being okay. We still have outbursts and we still have things to work on, but you can still, that's helping with the guidance of the teacher, our special educators, my IEP consultants, my behavioral support person. This is a team effort, and they know it's not getting past my desk, which I've made quite clear over the last couple of years, is that I'm not going to come to you unless I can send you, and you know I send you 1,000 attachments, and I try to send you a summary of what we've gathered. I try to send you every data sheet that they've collected for me and everything like that, as well as this one with the charts and the testing, if we've done our VB mapping testing, and the plan that we've made. So I can come to you easily and walk away knowing that I have given you that support. So actually, I actually don't come to you unless we've tried it out already.
I think partly what he's asking though, that you don't, like the person that's been substituting doesn't just roll into that
Yes,
position.
and I
It needs
probably went off on a
posted.
tangent I shouldn't have. I
It needs posted where
apologize.
anyone can apply for that job then, through the
Yes.
service personnel process. The person that's been subbing doesn't just assume that.
No,
they
then
just
I-
assume
Yeah,
that job.
but I just wondered whether there was a pool, if you will, of folks out there that when you post it, that there's people interested for that position, that it doesn't, it's not sitting out there for 6 months waiting for somebody.
Not usually. At this point, what happens is tomorrow, Mr. Pettifor will take what I've gotten approved and post it. Okay, it stays up for 5 days. A majority of the time, I want to say 99% of the time, unless it's an extreme case with a lot of issues, we have a pool, and he will go down the seniority list and offer it to them. And so the person that maybe that was subbing does not always get that position. It's back to the seniority and us following the regulations. But the other part, sorry, I just needed to share it apparently, sorry.
Thank you.
So, what I do.
Thank you.
Good. Sorry.
Mr. Blanca, I missed one item on the agenda. Item 12, contracted services. Is that Ms. Fitzwaters as well? Or?
No, it's not, no. We have Mr. That's not you on there. Let's see, what number is that?
Number 12,
Number 12.
contracted services. Action on approval for, and I remember looking at it earlier today. I thought it was,
It's for the Title I Parent Involvement
Yeah, Title
Coordinator
I
and Title III
Coordinator.
ESL Translator.
Again, these are fully federally funded positions. Title I requires that each of our schools have a Title I coordinator in place. So actually, one of our coordinators had to resign because of life went along. So we were replacing that position. The other, we're very grateful that we have yet another translator to work. That is really a huge part, actually, of our parent enrollment process, is by using actual state Title III funds. We provide translators and interpreters to parents during IEP meetings, all sorts of different meetings, teachers, that kind of thing. So those are the two positions we're requesting, and they're contracted.
Do we have a motion? So moved.
Second.
okay, any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you very much. Mr. Blanc, we anticipate an executive session.
Yes, sir.
Do we anticipate any action following that?
There will be action.
Personnel action?
Yes, sir. We do.
Okay. So any personnel action, we would return to public session to take that action. And before we entertain a motion to move to executive session, any comments from the board members?
We had a recent meeting this past Thursday at Moorfield Middle School, and we are exploring the advantages and disadvantages of being a co-op opposed to being a RISA for another year. There are some advantages of staying a RISA for another year, and right now we're sorting out all those reasons of the advantages of being one or the other. at this point.
Did they change the rules?
No, they found out in some areas, Gary, there was some laws, there are some laws in the book that would put rates at higher rates if we were a co-op opposed to being a RESA. So we are kind of...
You just can't kill them, can you?
We're weighing out what is best for us to survive for another year before we may become co-op.
I would just say that Mr. Lynch was here. I was hoping to grab him before he left. We'll have to invite him back. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame, yeah.
And I wanted to bring that up before he left, so I'll have to invite him back.
Absolutely.
Have his own spotlight.
That's right.
Yeah. Yes, I'm sorry, other comments? Yeah. I was sorry that I missed the recognitions. I noticed that we had a national jazz ensemble bassist, and that's a pretty high honor. Once again, great music programs here. Mr. Blanc, I had a question regarding the out-of-area trips, just in general. Looking over these tonight, and we can come back to this, but I was looking at the approximate cost. I don't know if my colleagues had an opportunity to look at the approximate. Did anybody bring this up tonight? Okay. Looking at the approximate cost of some of the trips. First of all, I love the fact that we say approximate cost, and then we have several of these basketball trips that all of them are down to the penny. $127.04, $136.21, which, I mean, I'm impressed with that, but I'm also kind of curious, what is that cost that they are putting down there? And then I noticed again some trips that, we have one field trip to Maryland that is it's a midday trip. It's certainly for an important instructional reason, but its approximate cost for 65 students is $800. And then another one on here also to Maryland for a group of about 80 students, and the cost was $3,000. So, we haven't looked at these, I think, very closely in a while, and I'm just kind of curious where do those cost estimates come from, and who's paying for them? Are most of these being paid for by?
Generally, it's not the students themselves that are having to pay for them.
Well, but it's their families, or is the school system?
Or PTAs.
School raises, elementary, a lot of
Yeah.
you see either the PTAs or else the school general fund. Some of their fundraisers go to that, and a lot of the fundraisers from the secondary school level, we will see that the athletics, their boosters raise those monies for that.
And then like basketball trip, all the basketball trips. Number of adults, 2. Number of students, 25. The trips, they're all around $130. No, but what is it? Is that paying for the bus driver?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Good.
And those come to the cent because I think when they put them into our electronic program, the Versa-Tran program, and it calculates a cost, which probably still ends up being an estimated cost, but it calculates a cost for them to put in for those trips.
I was impressed with him getting it down to the penny.
And you might see a difference in the price whether taking our county buses or charter buses.
Like, I completely understand the band that went to Charleston this weekend. Thankfully, they took chartered buses.
The most expensive one on there, it worked out to be about $55 a student, but looking at what they were doing in Maryland, it seemed incredibly reasonable.
Good.
So.
Okay. Well, thank you. Also, the board would like to express its sympathy for the passing of Lorna Fry, recently passed away, longtime teacher, home economics at Jefferson High, also worked in the central office, and want to extend our condolences to her family. Other questions or comments? If not, we will entertain a motion to move to executive session pursuant to West Virginia law for purposes of personnel and legal issues.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. We'll take a quick break, 2-minute break.